Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. Welcome back to another Bhagavad-gita class with your host, me, Prahlad, daytime edition. Today we're doing Bhagavad-gita 6, 13, 14. Let's get straight into it. Oh, well, actually, yeah, I like this layout a little bit better. Let's put the right there. Okay. Samam kāya-śiro-grīvaṁ dhārayann acalam sthiraḥ samprekṣya nāsikāgraṁ svam diśaś cānavalokayan praśāntātmā vigata-bhīr. I'm reading. Oh. Alright. I'm reading it a bit slowly just so I make sure my pronunciation is okay. Where was I? Praśāntātmā vigata-bhīr brahmacāri-vrate sthitaḥ samyamya mac-citto yukta āsīta mat-paraḥ samam straight kāya-śiraḥ body and head, grīvam neck, dhārayann holding, acalam unmoved. That's why I remember why we don't use this layout, because my face blocks part of the screen. Anyway, there we go. Acalam unmoved, sthiraḥ still, samprekṣya looking, nāsikā nose, agram tip, svam own, diśaś all sides, cha also, cānavalokayan not seeing, praśāntātmā unagitated, atma mind, vigata-bhīr devotion of fear, brahmacāri-vrate in the vow of celibacy, sthitaḥ situated, manaḥ mind, saṁyamya completely subdued, mat unto me Krishna, citta concentrated, yukta actual yogi, āsīta being so, mat unto me, manaḥ ultimate goal. One should hold one's body, neck and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. I'm about to say starve, a bit weird, and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is to know Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The ultimate goal of life is to know Krishna, who is situated within the heart of every living being as Paramatma, the four-handed Vishnu form. The yoga process is practiced in order to discover and see this localized form of Vishnu, and not for any other purpose. The localized Vishnu Murti is the plenary representation of Krishna dwelling within one's heart. I'll scroll down a bit. One who has not One who has no program to realize this Vishnu Murti is uselessly engaged in mock yoga practice and is certainly wasting his time. Krishna is the ultimate goal of life, and the Vishnu Murti situated in one's heart is the object of yoga practice. To realize this Vishnu Murti within the heart, one has to observe complete abstinence from sex life. Therefore, one has to leave home and live alone in a secluded place, remaining seated as mentioned above. One cannot enjoy sex life daily, at home or elsewhere, and attend a so-called yoga class and thus become a yogi. One has to practice controlling the mind and avoiding all kinds of sense gratification, of which sex life is the chief. In the rules of celibacy written by the great sage Yagnavalkya, it is said, karmana manasa vacha sarva. It's not in the same meter as the verse. So karmana manasya vacha sarva vastasu sarvada sarvatra maituna tayago brahmacaryam praśāntātmā. The vow of brahmacharya is meant to help one completely abstain from sex indulgence in work, words, and mind at all times, under all circumstances, and in all places. No one can perform correct yoga practice through sex indulgence. Brahmacharya is taught, therefore, from childhood, when one has no knowledge of sex life. Children at the age of 5 are sent to the Gurukula, or the place of the spiritual master, and the master trains the young boys in a strict discipline of becoming brahmacharis. Without such practice, no one can make advancement in any yoga, whether it be dhyana, jhana, or bhakti. Let's go down a little bit. One who, however, follows the rules and regulations of married life, having sexual relationship only with his wife, and that also under regulation, is called brahmachari. Okay. Good brahmachari. Such a restrained householder brahmachari may be accepted in the bhakti school, but the jnana and dhyana schools do not admit even householder brahmacharis. They require complete abstinence without compromise. In the bhakti school, a householder brahmachari is allowed controlled sex life because the cult of bhakti yoga is so powerful that one automatically loses sexual attraction, being engaged in the superior service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad-gita, it is said, Visaya vinivartane nida. It's also not in the verse nida. So Visaya vinivartante niraharasaya dehimna rasa varjam raso pi asya param dristva nirvartate. Whether others are forced to restrain themselves from sense gratification, whereas others are forced to restrain themselves from sense gratification, a devotee of the Lord automatically refrains because of superior taste. Other than the devotee, no one has any information of that superior taste. Vigata-bhīr. vigata-bhīr. One cannot be fearless unless one is fully in Krishna consciousness. A conditioned soul is fearful due to his perverted memory, his forgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. The Bhagavatam says, Vyayam divya bin ivsata. Divya bin iv es divya bihin esataha sad idsa apisa viparyayo smriti. There's a lot of Sanskrit. I've been better at reading it. Krishna consciousness is the only basis for fearlessness. Therefore, perfect practice is possible for a person who is Krishna conscious. And since the ultimate goal of yoga practice is to see the Lord within, a Krishna conscious person is already the best of all yogis. The principles of the yoga system mentioned herein are different from those of the so-called yoga societies, of those of the popular so-called yoga societies. Here we go. Whew. It's quite warm today. What is the? It's currently 20 degrees. Pretty hot. So I'm sweating a little bit. Anyway, yeah, it's quite a long purple. Looking at the differences, here it says in the original edition, thus, and then comma, with an unagitated mind. Thus, with an unagitated mind. Yeah, that's a grammar change, which I'm not the best with, but I guess should make sense. I don't think it changes the meaning. Or changes anything. Oops. Sorry, my scroll wheel's a bit broken. The localized Vishnu Murti. So they've capitalized all the instances where it says Vishnu. They've decapitalized it. My bad. Which is strange. I don't think, off the top of my head, I don't remember any instances where they've decapitalized things, but I do remember times where they have capitalized things. But I guess it sort of makes sense, when it's talking about the Vishnu Murti. It's not directly talking about Vishnu. Vishnu Murti. Yeah, it's more talking about the Vishnu Murti, meaning the statue. So when it says Vishnu Murti, it's not directly referencing that. I wonder if it says anything in the changes. No, it doesn't. Mass, you. Oh, that's what it says. Mass, unto me. Upon me. Must be whited out, and then he's written over it. Huh. It's been a lot of changes to the word for word, which is okay. Yeah, I wouldn't really be able to talk about the word for word. My knowledge of Sanskrit isn't deep enough. I can barely read. So yeah. What else? Mock yoga with a dash. Dash is being removed. Again, that's sort of like a grammar styling. thing. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think it doesn't really mean anything. Full stop's been added to the quotes. Oh, it's been removed from the quotes. Yeah, again, doesn't really mean anything. Comma's been added. It actually has been added this time. I got it right. Comma's been added from childhood, comma, when one has no knowledge of sex life. From childhood, therefore, from childhood. Brahmacāri is taught, therefore, from childhood, when one knows. Brahmacāri is taught, therefore, from childhood. Brahmacāri is taught from childhood when. I don't know why they would add a comma there. Normally, I would think it would be the other way around, them removing a comma to simplify the sentence. Because here, it's sort of a simple split clause. It's sort of easy. And then here, it's like, Brahmacāri is taught, therefore, from childhood, when one has no knowledge of sex life. It doesn't read properly with a comma there. At least I don't think it does. What else? Rules and regulations of married life, having sexual relationship only with, having asexual relationship only with. Yes, I accidentally misread this as relations or relationships. Because having sexual relationship, that doesn't make proper grammatical sense, I don't think. That's why they've added the A. Is also called the brahmacāri. It's also called a brahmacāri. Yeah, so it makes more sense when it's A. It's also called brahmacāri. Yeah, it can be when so for the first when they've added the A, having asexual relationship. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that would be needed to. I don't think it's needed, but it does clarify it a bit. Then it says also called a brahmacāri. The a brahmacāri isn't needed as much. It's also called brahmacāri. That's a class of things. And then when it's called a brahmacāri, that's a type of person. So it doesn't matter if it's the a there that much. Do not even admit. No, that's just a change. They've added the specific purports where the Bhagavad-gita quote is from. They've hyphenized the Sanskrit for vigata-bhīr. Vigata-bhīr. They've hyphenized that Sanskrit, and then they've added the specific purport from where the Bhagavatam quote is from. That's it. It's not really many changes. Sort of more grammatical and styling things. Talking about the actual purport, it's talking about how one gets to the end of the process of yoga. It does, even though it doesn't, the whole translation is about it. The purport really focuses on sex life, how the absence of sex life is, or that sex sort of, what else does it say? What else does it call it? Sex life. Yeah, okay, I'll just call it sex life. Sort of the absence. Yeah, absence, not abscess. Abscess is like a cut or something. The I forgot abscess. absence. There we go. Okay, I remembered that. The absence of sex life is basically a requirement to, yoga. It's a requirement of Krishna consciousness. Well, not it's a requirement, but it comes with Krishna consciousness. It says, whereas others are forced to restrain themselves of sense gratification or sex life, a devotee of the Lord automatically refrains because of the superior taste. So, once you become like a devotee, once you gain that Krishna consciousness, once you taste the bliss, the true sense gratification, through the service of Krishna, you'll be like, man, I don't want this sex life. That's all meaningless and mundane. It's all Maya. And so, yeah, it really talks about one cannot perform correct yoga practice through sex indulgence. The vow of brahmacārya is meant to help one completely abstain from sex indulgence. Yeah, so, when it's talking about the vow of brahmacārya and talking about sending the kids to the gurukul, and having, teaching them to become brahmacharis, that's basically in introducing Krishna consciousness, introducing the idea of, service, devotional service, because that will come with that, brahmacharya training, which will also include controlling or completely abstaining from sex indulgence. Yeah, and it does say in the translation, does say one should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose, thus with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free of sex life. One should meditate upon me. There's a lot in the purport that isn't talking about. There's a lot in the translation that isn't talking about sex life, but the purport just goes hard on it. So you can see that it's a pertinent point. Prabhupada's like, hey, you should pay attention to this. He goes deep into it. Yeah, so talking about the different, what talks about mentioned herein the different principles of the yoga system are mentioned here are different from the popular so-called yoga societies. So I think it's talking about like how the yoga system, with bhakti, what is it? Jnana, jhana, and bhakti yoga. They're different from like sort of yoga stretches and stuff. I think that's what it's talking about. Yeah. But I didn't know that there are people who are married in householders are called householder brahmacharis, so they were called the grihastas or something different. Anyway, what else? Yeah, that's really all I've got to say. It's a nicely written purport. It's got all of the hallmarks of a Prabhupada written. They're written. Prabhupada created purport. Yeah. Okay. So to finish us off, I'll go back to the verse. Samam kāya-śiro-grīvaṁ dhārayann acalam sthiraḥ samprekṣya nāsikāgraṁ svam diśaś cānavalokayan praśāntātmā vigata-bhīr brahmacāri-vrate sthitaḥ samamya mac-citto yukta asti mat-paraḥ. One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare directly at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. Yeah. Meditate on the Vishnu Murti situated in one's heart. It's the ultimate goal. Hello. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching live. If you watch live, so a few people come in. If you're watching afterwards, thank you also. If you like any of the content that we do here, give it a like, give it a share, tag your friends. I'm actually looking at the camera for this time. Yeah. Have a good morning, good evening, or good night. It is a good afternoon for me, actually. I've missed that one. Yeah. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total victory of Hare Krishna. Very well.